How the heck do we reach out to people that are going through foreclosure in order for me to get as many deals as I possibly can? Am I only door knocking? I don't know. The guy who knows all the answers is right here to my right, possibly your left. I'm not quite sure how this works on the camera. But welcome, Michael Franke, to the show. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Michael came all the way out from Kansas City to hang out with us to talk about pre-foreclosures, door knocking, how to reach out to people, how to solve problems, how to check your heart at the door to help as many people as humanly possible. He also has his own YouTube channel, crushing it on there, focusing on this exact topic. So if you want more information, either watch our playlist or go over to his channel. He's doing live door knocking on that freaking channel. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. All right, Michael, how am I reaching out to these people, and what's my first one I should do? That's what we should do. Should we do significance of importance, likelihood of getting a deal, or I don't know. I think maybe the first one we should do is probably the first. If I gave you a list right now, pre-foreclosures, what are you doing first?
It would either be a door knock or a cold call, but before we even get into that, why even contact people in this amount of different ways? If you've ever watched Alex Hormozi's channel, do you watch his stuff?
Of course.
Okay. He had an interesting stat in one of his podcasts about everyone consumes content differently. He put his books out in a physical form, a Kindle, an audiobook, and a course. And he found that about 25% of people consumed it in each different one of those. So the same thing applies to all of these different things, different ways that we reach out. Why would we ever just stop with the door knock? Maybe someone doesn't want to answer the door. SMS, well, people are getting blown up. Maybe their phone's out of commission, who knows? Facebook Messenger, everyone's there. Okay, so we've just got to contact people in a lot of different ways until it's the medium that they like.
What a wonderful answer. What a wonderful answer. I've been lucky to be friends with Alex Hormozi, so I'll send him voice memos and all sorts of really cool things. We primarily talk about building community, which is really amazing. I have never heard him say this, but it is very true. When I released Wealth Without Cash, that book over there, the first thing I got was a message of, when's it coming out on Audible? I'm like, just read the book. And they're like, nope, I'll wait for Audible.
Right.
Does that mean my book sucks?
Absolutely not.
Probably. Who knows? But I can tell you that's a really good answer. It doesn't mean, now in the beginning nobody was there teaching you this stuff.
No,
Did you feel like you just sucked?
No, I mean, just over time I realized, hey, I got shut down at door knock. There's got to be another way to communicate with these people. And then over time I added these. It wasn't overnight, it was over several years.
And more importantly, you're sitting there checking your heart at the door, knocking at the house going, these people are going to lose their house in 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is. It's my duty, my responsibility to reach out to them in all ways I possibly can.
That's the exact word I feel. It's my duty to make sure that they're okay. Whether I buy the house or they solve this situation on their own, I want to be an asset for them.
Oh my gosh. What if you just looked at all the pins on all the foreclosures in your city and you said, I'm responsible for making sure all of these people get whatever solution they need, whether it's an agent, whether it's a loan modification, a refinance. Well, they're not getting a refinance in a pre-foreclosure situation, but maybe it's selling their house to a cash buyer through me. Got to make a wholesale deal, a sub-2 or seller finance deal, or maybe a novation. You partner with the seller on one of those things. So you look at that map and you're looking at all these pins that pop up and you go, I have to be responsible. I have to reach out to every one of them as much as I possibly can until they have a solution. That's what we're doing here. So door knocking, you find, is the most effective?
Door knocking and cold calling are the most effective. I like door knocking the most just because of the amount of intel you can get. So you can have a conversation with the seller. You can see the condition of the house. You can see if it's vacant, and we can talk about vacancy and how to find those deals in another video. That's where the fun begins. You can go talk to the neighbors. There's just all kinds of information you can get from a door knock that maybe you couldn't get from a text or a cold call.
Okay, so you door knock or you cold call. I don't think the audience wants to hear or.
Okay.
So what is Michael Franke doing? Door knocking first or cold calling first?
If you're a solopreneur, it's going to be more scalable to cold call. You're going to be able to talk to more people, or choose door knocking. I have a multiple person team, so I can do all of these different things, but choose one. They all work. Every single one of them will get deals for you.
Okay. Michael is telling you go door knock if you're maybe driving on the way home from work, but it's easier just to be at your home, less windshield time. Here's the problem. Door knocking is very effective, and I think what people will do is they'll choose to cold call for 2 or 3 days. Remember we talked about in video number 2, which was the hardest thing about all of this is that it's hard. And you're going to convince yourself not to do it. And if you are questioning yourself whether I'm doing my KPIs right or I'm doing enough stuff and I'm calling enough people, and you quit on day number 3, well, you have to blame yourself. We've already told you it's going to be really, really hard. So door knock and cold calling. Now, when I'm sending them an SMS, when do I know it's time to send an SMS?
So we have it set up in our system to automatically go, but you don't want to just overload people from the very beginning. Let's just say you door knock someone and you cold called them and they didn't answer. Well, it becomes maybe perhaps a little intrusive to send a text. I'm thinking a few days after that pre-foreclosure piece of data comes out, and that message that you're sending is pretty simple. Don't overthink it. It's sort of like the door knock. Hey, my name is Michael.
Go Chiefs.
That's right. In Kansas City, that may get me an appointment right now. I don't know.
I mean, literally, what if you only send a text right now, right after the Super Bowl, you guys just won, you just said, yo. Literally, you wrote, yo, go Chiefs. Am I right? And then nothing else. Are you getting responses?
You probably could. I probably should get a jersey and go door knock with that.
Oh my gosh. Guys, be creative. Do this fun stuff. So what does your text say?
So my text would say something like, hey, my name's Michael. I know you got a lot of going on and you have a lot of people contacting you. I'm sorry about what the lender's doing with the foreclosure. I just wanted to see if there was anything I could do to help. You obviously don't have to have the exact message every single time. I could say it 1,000 different ways. Your goal is to send that message. If that person is your client, they at some point will respond.
And what I love about this is that not one time did you say, I want to buy your house.
No. I never talk about buying the house. Guys, you have to realize these people are going through the toughest time in their life. There's some sort of catalyst that has caused this issue. And will they sell their house at some point? Maybe. But at first, they're going to think about other options that they can use to save that home. And our job is to guide them through those, and eventually you'll buy a house.
Michael, what are those options? Well, we'll talk about those in another video. Michael has 5 options that he really likes to condense and give to the seller. Okay, does Facebook Messenger really work, Michael?
Facebook Messenger gets me a little hot and bothered.
Why? Tell me.
So I had the deal that I always like to talk about. I had contacted this lady. I went back and figured out how many times I'd contacted her through all these different options here. I'd contacted her 116 times. So when we're talking about persistence, does it always take that many times? Absolutely not. But if you really want a deal, sometimes you're going to have to go to those lengths. So after 116 times, I was like, man, I'm just not going to get this deal. But it was in my hometown. I wanted it. You know, hey, you have that feeling inside. It's just like, I want this one so bad. So I was like, I'm going to try it one more time. I went back to her Facebook profile. I saw that she had a link to her boyfriend on there. I went to the boyfriend. I said, look, your girlfriend has a ton of equity in this house. I've been trying to reach out to her. I'd like to help her out, but she won't respond. He immediately says, I'll see what I can do. She calls me about 3 minutes later, followed by a picture of her mortgage statement, and then it leads to an appointment that night. The reason she hadn't responded to any of my messages, unfortunately her son had passed away in the house, and that was the catalyst. She couldn't face that. Then at the appointment, she's just going through that whole situation. And of course, I'm showing as much empathy as I can. And at the end of that conversation, she just says, look, I owe $68 on this house. I know you won't even pay that. But if you could pay $80 for the house, I would be just so elated. That would change my life. Because this house is worth $300,000 fixed up. Okay, so it's worth a lot. And I said, look, I can't do 80. She kind of looks down a little bit. And I said, I can do 100 for the house. Okay?
Wow, bro.
So
yes.
we're out here to, of course, make money as real estate investors. We got to provide for our family. But if you can make life-changing money for these sellers, that's a huge win in itself. Okay, so she went ahead and netted, what, $32,000? I assigned that for $75K.
Wow. Bro, give this man some love in the comments.
Facebook Messenger, man.
Facebook Messenger. You know, I have used Facebook Messenger one time to get a deal done. I already had the house under contract. And we go escrow, so the seller's name is Desiree. We pull title, we find a $110,000 lien on a house that I had under contract for $110,000. The seller thought the house was not encumbered. She had a child support lien. Here's what happened. She inherited the property from somebody who inherited the property from somebody, and they had a quit claim deed it all the way through. There was a child support lien from 2 owners prior.
Wow.
How did I find the guy that had the lien? Facebook Messenger. I found out he was a barber. This is what he did. He told me, stay the F away from me. I want to have nothing to do with that house. There's bad memories there, da-da-da-da. I reached out to him on Facebook Messenger. He said all of those things. So what did I do? You know what I did? I booked an appointment to get my hair cut by the guy. And I sat on his desk. If you guys ever meet Desiree, she's come on a couple of our community Zooms. And I went and sat down with the guy and I said, hey, here's the situation. This guy's got a straight razor in his freaking hand. And I said, your child support lien that you owe is $110,000. I need to get off the house. Can you please introduce me to your baby mama so I can go and work this $110,000 lien and see if she'll reduce that dollar amount. That baby mama, how much do you think she did? She took off, I gave her money to remove the $110,000 lien. How much money do you think she took?
I don't know.
$1,000. She took $1,000. She was like, this guy's a deadbeat. He's never going to pay me. That lien's been on there for 7 years. I go, what would you take? She's like, $1,000. I go, done. That came from Facebook Messenger. We could not get a hold of that guy any other way. I freaking love that story with your girl. And man, I think that it's a really, I wouldn't say the death of a son is a common thing, but I think that significance of a level of problems is very common in foreclosures.
Very common.
Okay, so email. You are doing email?
Yeah, guys, you can actually set these up on a drip. The second your information comes into the system, have 5-10 different emails that you can send out to these people. It automatically sends out, and all you have to do is wait for a response. I probably close a deal or two every couple months from email, but I don't have to work for it. And then you set up an appointment and contract the deal. You
guys want to learn what he writes in his emails? Go over to his YouTube channel, subscribe to him. He'll have some stuff come out about that type. I'm not going to talk about emails on this channel. He can talk about emails on that channel, and he'll help you guys out on that. Okay, a couple of other ones. Ooh, we got a couple of really good ones. We've already talked about cold call, so we'll cross that out. Direct mail and video message. When do I spend the money on direct mail?
So direct mail wouldn't be the first thing that I would say that a new person should get into. There's other ways that are cheaper and perhaps faster. But if you're wanting to add in another source that maybe gives you a little bit of credibility, direct mail is a good source. And oftentimes people might look at your direct mail piece and they'll say, hey, let me look this guy up. Then they might look you up and see your Google reviews that have glowing reviews about all the other people you helped. Then maybe they'll give you a call or something. So it's sometimes these direct mail pieces, they just aid in the credibility of you getting a deal.
You know, it was interesting when I was with HomeVestor, shout out to Carl Bassett. You guys, Carl Bassett, you stole one of his acquisition people. We owe you a knuckle sandwich for that, bro. It was interesting when we were running our HomeVestors campaigns, we were spending about $400,000 a month in marketing for the total franchise. That's all 20 locations in all of Phoenix. The average person was spending 20 grand a month. We would spend $65,000 a month on billboards, and we got 0 calls from billboards. Never got calls from billboards. Nobody ever calls on billboards. But why did we continue to spend the money?
The credibility, the visibility.
Oh, so good. And now what happened is our open rate on our direct mail went up a full percentage because people see our billboard on their drive home. They see a stack of, postcards, mailers, business cards stuck in their door. But because they see our yellow letter that matches the yellow color of the billboard that they just subliminally got programmed in their brain, our letter gets opened first. And so our direct mail was more successful because of that. So same thing here. Michael's saying that your direct mail makes it so you're cold calling or your business card you leave on the door or a sticky note or whatever else, there's credibility, there's recognition, etc. Plus, when you are cold calling, you can, and you're sending direct mail, a lot of times your team, on Michael's team, will go, hey, we sent you a letter a couple of weeks ago, did you have a chance to get it? And they'll actually, there's a point of conversation there rather than like, hi, it's Tammy from Michael's team, just wondering how's it going? Sometimes it's like, hey, we sent you a piece of letter, just want to see if you got it, if you saw the options that we're giving. It's good conversation piece on top of the credibility, which I like. Video message. Bro, this is gangster.
Video messages are great because everyone else is texting, they're door knocking, maybe direct mail, email. How do you stand out? Okay? A lot of people get a text, they throw that away because everyone else, it looks exactly the same. But if I just take my phone, do a quick 30-second video and just say, hey, my name is Michael. I know you have a lot going on, and I know a lot of people are bothering you, but I just wanted to reach out, put a name to a face, and just say I can help you with your situation, and I'm just here if you need me. So it doesn't matter what you say, but just try to have some feeling behind your voice, and all of a sudden, instead of just a text or a piece of direct mail or a Facebook message, they really see your face. And then you can connect at a higher level. I don't know how many deals I've gotten. People said, you know, I got reached out to by a lot of other people, but you were the only one that sent me a video message, and that's why I went with you.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That's something I've done at a lot of homes when I'm knocking, but I can never get my team to do that. They're always like trying to go through their numbers. They had KPIs we would measure them on. But for me, when I was showing other people how to door knock in the very beginning, I go, look guys, look how easy it is. I'm at the door. Right? The door's right behind me. The house that we're talking about is right behind me. I can show them, hey, I was here. If you see me again, come and knock. Just so you know, I'll probably come back a couple more times just to check in on you. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a this. And by the way, if you just need a recommendation of not an attorney, a real estate agent, a contractor, somebody to help you out with this, I'm happy to just give you referrals. Tell me what you need. I'm here. Dude, like, so freaking genius, guys. Oh my gosh. So can I do this with an Android? That's the main question.
Well, I suppose you can, but I don't like green bubbles.
Guys, get rid of the green bubbles, okay? What are your foreclosure sellers going to think when the person who is trying to save them from foreclosure doesn't even have the money to buy a quality phone? Come on, get out of here with these Androids. Austin, you don't have an Android, do you?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So video messages, these are like 30 seconds, you're saying?
Yes.
When should I send these? On the first time I door knock, or maybe I've never gotten a hold of them, or is this like right away, you've knocked the door, I send them a text message?
So Guy, the cool thing is we could set up a really rigid schedule for all these things, but they're all interchangeable. Maybe I go door knock a house, and I didn't get a hold of them. And it's like, oh, it's top of mind. I skip traced it from before. We talked about that in a past video. Hey, I'm just gonna shoot a message while I'm here. It's top of mind. This situation is here, and send them a message. But obviously we could come up with a really detailed plan depending on your market and how the foreclosure schedule works.
Yeah, I think when you're just getting started out, he's saying top of mind. So you're on the doorstop or you're on the patio. I think a smart thing to do, which is what he's saying, is like if you're in the moment, just send a video and go, hey, I'm here at your door. I'm gonna come back probably in a couple of days, different time. I'm just trying to catch you. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. I just wanna help you. And if you see me come and knock the door, just so you know, I'm a friendly guy, putting a name to the face, da, 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 da. I think that's cool. They might not reply to it, but I think that's a smart move to go on almost every time you knock somebody's door. Is there a point where you could go overkill on the communication?
I don't think so. I mean, the amount of times that I have had someone that I signed a contract and they say, I saw all your messages.
Oh.
I just wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
I actually appreciate you reaching out. Everyone else quit.
Yeah, I had one of our community members was texting me. Actually, shout out David Richter. Do you know who David Richter is?
I know the name.
He wrote the book Profit First,
for
yes,
real
estate investors. And so he texted me this morning for the fourth time this week. And he says, hey, no, you're busy, just pinging you. I'm like, bro, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I was in Yuma, I was in Tucson, I was entertaining a bunch of people. I had people flying in and out. My phone is constantly like over here to the side where we're filming. He's like, no, I know you're busy. That's why I kept pinging you. And I also know that doesn't bother people that are busy like you. So I freaking love that. You've had sellers tell you straight up, I saw all your messages.
Straight up. Guys, they appreciate it. At the end, they don't have any other options, and they're going to go with the person that they recognize and they trust. If you're doing all these different options, all they remember is Michael, 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 Michael. And who's at the top of mind when it's time to make a decision?
Michael.
Michael.
Michael D. Frankie. Head over to his YouTube channel, Michael D. Frankie. D for door knock, just so you guys know. Now, what I also love as we wrap up for this, I love that the seller sees all of those messages, but guess what else he sees? He sees how consistent and persistent you are. Guess what I need when I'm in a pre-foreclosure situation? I don't need some wishy-washy person that's sending me messages kind of haphazardly. I need to see somebody that's regimented. I need to see somebody that's consistent, polite, and professional that I can trust my situation with. And that's essentially what you're doing by making sure you're on top of it.
Absolutely. These people know that if worst comes to worst, they have to have someone that's not going to give up on them. And if you're persistent through this, that gives the proof that you're not going to quit on them.
Love it, guys. We'll see you in the next video.